The sunlight filtered softly through the curtains. Jungkook stood at the stove, flipping pancakes, pretending everything felt normal. But his heart was anything but steady. Taehyung sat at the kitchen table, still dressed in his sleep shirt, eyes tracing Jungkook's every move. Neither of them mentioned the kiss. Not yet. Jaeho stumbled in, rubbing his eyes, his hair a messy crown of curls. "Papa Tae, you're still here," he chirped, running into Taehyung's arms. Taehyung lifted him with ease. "Of course. You think I'd leave without breakfast?" Jaeho giggled. "Appa made pancakes. But yours taste better." Jungkook let out a soft cough, tossing a towel onto the counter. "Traitor!" Taehyung caught Jungkook's eyes then. A flicker of something passed between them, something fragile, unspoken, but so loud. Jaeho climbed into his seat, stuffing a strawberry into his mouth. "Appa was smiling last night." Taehyung blinked. "He was?" Jaeho nodded. "He only smiles like that when he's looking at you." Silence. Jungkook froze mid-paw. His cheeks flushed. Taehyung looked at Jaeho, then at Jungkook. "I see everything," Jaeho mumbled, chewing. "Even if you both think I don't." Taehyung's lips curled into a small smile. "Maybe you're smarter than all of us." They sat side by side while Jaeho ran around with his toy car in the grass. "I didn't mean for that to happen," Jungkook murmured suddenly. Taehyung didn't look at him. "The kiss." Jungkook nodded slowly. Taehyung inhaled. "It wasn't a mistake, Jungkook. Don't call it that. I'm just scared of messing this up." "You won't," Taehyung said softly. "Not unless you try to undo what's already becoming something." Jungkook turned to him. "And what is it becoming?" Taehyung looked him dead in the eye. "Something that feels like home." The words lingered, settling in the space between them like a promise not yet spoken aloud. And Jungkook didn't have an answer. But when he reached out and let his fingers tangle with Taehyung's on the bench between them, he knew. He didn't want to run anymore. The air was cool, but the tension was sharp. Taehyung held Jaeho's hand tightly as they waited for Jungkook to finish speaking with the teacher. Jaeho kicked at a pebble, humming under his breath. "Papa Tae, yes, little one." Jaeho looked up with big, serious eyes. "If my mom comes back, do I still get to stay with you?" Taehyung crouched to Jaeho's level, heart clenching. "Of course. No one's taking you away from us, Jaeho. I promise." Before Jaeho could say more, a sleek black car pulled up across the street. Taehyung stood instinctively. A woman stepped out, tall, elegant, sunglasses perched on her nose. Her smile was polite, but her presence was ice. Soojin, Jaeho's biological mother. Jungkook saw her at the same time, his blood draining. Soojin approached slowly, eyes glancing over Taehyung, then softening when they landed on Jaeho. "My baby," she said with a faint smile. "You've gotten so big." Jaeho stepped back. Taehyung moved in front of him without a second's thought. "What are you doing here?" Jungkook asked, his voice cool. "I just came to see my son." "That's not illegal, is it?" "He doesn't know you." "I'm his mother." Taehyung's jaw clenched. "A mother doesn't walk out and then show up like nothing happened." Soojin turned to him. "And you are someone who stayed," he said calmly, but firmly. Jungkook paced. "She's not just here for a visit," he muttered. "She wants something." Taehyung sat quietly on the couch, Jaeho asleep upstairs. "She has no right to him," Jungkook said. "She left. She signed everything away, but if she stirs enough trouble, it could get messy," Taehyung said, voice low. Jungkook looked at him, eyes heavy with exhaustion. I don't know what to do. Taehyung stood, walked over, and cupped Jungkook's face gently. Then let me help you. We'll fight this together. Jungkook swallowed, his forehead pressing against Taehyung's. Why are you always here when it matters? Because you matter, Taehyung whispered. And so does Jiho. She poured herself a glass of wine, pulling a folder from her bag. Inside were photos. Taehyung with Jiho. Taehyung kissing Jungkook's forehead on the front porch. Taehyung's name circled on a document. She smiled to herself, cold and calculating. I want my son back, she murmured. The knock on the door came sharp and early. Jungkook opened it, heart already racing. A man in a suit stood there, briefcase in hand. Mr. Jian. Jungkook, yes, you've been served. Jungkook froze, staring down at the crisp envelope. Custody review petition. Filed by Kang Soojin. His blood ran cold. Taehyung appeared in the hallway, sleep still clinging to his eyes. What is it? Jungkook didn't answer, just handed over the envelope. Taehyung read the heading, then slowly looked up at him. She filed for custody. Jungkook nodded numbly. She's coming for Jiho. They sat stiffly beside each other across from a no-nonsense woman in glasses, Jungkook's attorney. She's claiming emotional manipulation, the lawyer explained. Says she was coerced into giving up her rights. She's asking for visitation. Maybe even share custody. Taehyung's hands clenched in his lap. She left him, Jungkook snapped. He cried for her for months. He doesn't even know her now. I know, the lawyer said gently. But the court might see this differently, especially if she argues remorse and personal reform. Is there any way to shut this down? Taehyung asked, voice steady but sharp. The lawyer hesitated. If you were legally recognized as Jiho's second guardian or adoptive parent, it would strengthen your case. Jungkook stiffened. Taehyung looked over at him. It's your decision. But if you ask me, she's not going to stop unless we draw a line. Jungkook stared at the city lights, thoughts loud and heavy. Taehyung came up quietly, a hoodie thrown over his pajamas. I won't overstep, Taehyung said softly, standing beside him. But I meant it, Jungkook. If you want to fight this, I'll stand in front with you. Not behind. Jungkook looked at him, conflicted. I never planned to give Jiho another parent. But you, Taehyung waited. You showed up. Again and again. Not just for me. For him. You became what she never was. Jungkook turned to him. Do you really want to be Jiho's legal guardian? He asked quietly. I already am in every way that counts, Taehyung whispered. Let me make it official. Jungkook stepped closer, eyes full of something raw. Then let's do it, he said. Let's protect him. Together, and just like that, a silent vow was born. Not just to love, not just to stay, but to shield. The sterile room buzzed with tension as Taehyung filled out form after form. Full name came Taehyung, relationship to child. He hesitated, then wrote, parental guardian, pending co-parent adoption. Jungkook sat beside him, hands clenched tightly in his lap. The clerk gave a polite smile. You'll also need to submit a psychological background check, home inspection, and references. Taehyung nodded. I've already begun. Jungkook looked at him then, something unreadable swimming in his eyes. You're really doing this, he murmured, like it hadn't hit him fully until now. Taehyung glanced over with a soft smile. I don't do anything halfway, especially not when it comes to Jiho. or you. Taehyung stood near the swings, watching Jiho squeal as Jungkook pushed him gently. The wind was soft, the sky faded orange. Jiho ran up moments later, holding out a dandelion. Make a wish, Pipati. Taehyung crouched. What should I wish for? Jiho leaned in with a whisper. Wish that you can stay forever. Taehyung smiled and blew. Elsewhere, Soojin's apartment. Soojin paced her living room, the custody letter now crumpled on the floor. Her lawyer sat across from her. You're losing the emotional leverage, he warned. That man, Kim Taehyung, is stable, clean, and has no legal baggage. Courts will love him. Her eyes narrowed. Then maybe it's time we bring Jungkook's baggage to the surface. The lawyer hesitated. There was that bar fight 2 years ago. He got into it after a heated argument with you. Correct? Exactly. Soojin grinned darkly. And I'll make sure the judge sees him for what he really is, reckless, unstable, and unfit. Taehyung stood by the doorway, towel over his shoulders. Jiho's asleep. Out in 2 minutes. Jungkook nodded, eyes distant. Taehyung walked over and sat beside him on the bed. You're quiet. I got a call from my lawyer. Taehyung turned. What happened? They're bringing up my past, Jungkook said bitterly. Soojin's team found the fight. And the drinking. From back when everything was falling apart. Taehyung's jaw clenched. You were a single dad under pressure. That doesn't make you unfit. Jungkook looked up, eyes glassy. What if I lose him? Taehyung leaned in closer, cupping his face gently. You won't. Not while I'm here. Jungkook's voice cracked. Why are you still here, Taehyung? After all of this, Taehyung whispered, forehead touching his, because this isn't your war alone anymore. It's ours.